Hello, dear teacher. My name is Edita Irene Ramón Lavanda. Looking for the most suitable strategy for teaching sentences in English has always been a hard challenge for teachers. So in this video, I will be talking about 3 different strategies to teach teenagers the types of sentence. In this case, simple, complex, and compound. Now, first, the first strategy that I have chosen to teach teenagers is unscramble. Unscramble sentence is a very good technique that can be used no matter of language learning students are. So, with teenagers, I use this strategy undeniable, since this activity is very emotional and practical for those students that participate in it. In this case, to teach a simple sentence to teenagers by scramble, first I'll explain the students the grammatical rule of simple sentence. Then I'll give them some examples. And sometimes model 1 or 2 different examples until the students understand how unscramble the sentence in their own. So finally, they will have to organize the words according to the grammatical rule taught by themselves. Now, by doing this, students learn how the sentences are created and the order each word follows in a sentence. I personally consider that this strategy helps teenagers working together or individually, but most importantly, it helps them to remember what is correct or incorrect in a very dynamic way. For example, after a sentence is organized, students read the sentence aloud, and then all students seek for mistakes if there is any, of course. So, as a whole group, students will recognize what is the mistake, and anybody will think what is the problem. So, I recommend you use this strategy. Use no more than 10 minutes, because this students level will understand faster, and because a longer activity can get them to become bored and not willing to continue working in the task. Now, the next strategy that I chosen to teach complex sentences to adolescents is using anchored charts. In this case, if me as a teacher, I will use this strategy because it is one of the most effective tools that can help the students recognize and remember and comprehend the most important aspects of the grammatical rule taught, and of course in a very dynamic way, so they do not get bored in the class. For example, we can explain to students the grammar of complex sentences. They make some examples, and then finally make students to create an anchor chart. with teacher and students' ideas. Now, so after that, they can use this chart several times and several times wherever and whenever. And they can remember the grammatical rule using this chart. Now, on the other hand, when students have an active role in creating an anchor chart, they engage in the learning process because they have the opportunity to share their thinking, observations. Anchor charts are an excellent tool to active students thinking and motivate more students' input. Now, the last strategy that I will apply to teach teenagers the compound sentence is deductive and inductive approach. These two approaches have been applied to grammar, teaching, and learning. A deductive approach involves the learners giving a general rule, which is then applied to specific language examples and honed through practice exercises. An inductive approach involves the learners detecting all knowledge patterns and working out a rule by themselves before they practice the language. Now, so in this case, to teach compound sentences, me as a teacher will make students notice the grammatical rule in a passage first. Then I'll give them the grammatical rules. Then I will provide some examples, and finally they will have to practice by themselves. Now, last but not least, I recommend you to use these strategies in a variable way, because if we as a teacher use only one strategy to teach our children, teenagers, or adults, people, they will get bored. So we don't want that. So I recommend you to use this strategy. So that's all. Thank you very much for your attention.